So Walmart and Target went to the Trump administration and said shelves will start to look empty by the summer. This is what this means. So this is the current map of outgoing, incoming shipments into China, East Asia. Pretty busy, I think everyone would agree. Each one of these is a cargo ship with hundreds of containers on it. Now, typically this is what the port of LA looks like. Currently, this is what the port of LA is looking like. If you look at the number of yellow ships coming in, it's very, very low. This is not normal. These are supposed to be consumer products and all the things that we use on a daily basis. Those are not coming in. So when you wonder how tariffs will affect the consumer, importers like me have asked to stop shipments coming in. We cannot afford these tariffs and we don't think our customers will pay for that. So now basic supply and demand, with decreased supply, prices will go up significantly.
Much of the stuff that we end up buying on store shelves leaves Asia on a boat months before it appears on our shelves. There is reporting that for weeks now, thanks to the on-again, off-again tariffs, boats have been leaving Asia significantly less than full. Why aren't we seeing that on the shelves yet? Because it takes a couple of months. And so the belief, the fear, the issue now is that several weeks from now, the impact of those semi-empty boats is going to be felt on retail store shelves. Now, this is not me defending consumerism. Oh, we need 50 varieties of cheap tchotchkes from China, or we're gonna, that's not the issue. The issue is that Donald Trump ran on, we will never have the bear cupboards, we will never have the supply chain issues. And then he came in and in a self-inflicted optional way has now imposed policy that may create exactly that. The empty shelves he blamed on Obama and Biden previously that he promised us we would never have. When will we know? Several weeks from now.
So we're starting to see the results of the trade wars. We're starting to see empty shelves in the stores.
Even if a deal is reached soon, are we in for at least some troubling times ahead?
I believe we are. And the reason why is that trade takes time to move, and you also have to order it.
What happened and what did you discuss? I'll let you know at the appropriate time. Let's see if we can make a deal.
Meantime, major ports like the Port of Los Angeles are seeing a steep drop in imports from China. And joining me now, we have Lori-Ann LaRocco, global supply chain reporter for CNBC Business News. Lori is also the author of the book Trade War, Containers Don't Lie, Navigating the Bluster. Lori, big welcome to you. So when it comes to the prospect of empty store shelves, which products could be hit hardest, and should consumers be worried? I mean, are you seeing a rush to buy certain things right now?
We really shouldn't see a rush because we actually have the items in. It's going to hit us in waves, Alex. And this is what we're going to kind of see with the timeline. Starting in June, this is where you're going to start seeing, those items that we love to get really cheap online. Those are the items that are going to get hit first. And those are like the fast fashion, products we might get on Amazon. And the reason why is that smaller businesses, they can't afford to have front loaded, right, all of these items in to beef up their inventory. Then starting in July, this is critical because this is the back to school time, right, where parents are going into the stores to get their kids their school clothes. So you're looking at backpacks, you're looking at notebooks, you're going to be looking at all of these items that some have been brought in, but there has been a major pause when you're looking at the amount of items that have been brought in, and people are just really uncertain, if you will. Is there going to consumer going to buy? We have seen the pullback on a multitude of different, economic indicators in terms of that hesitancy. And without really any definitive acknowledgement of what's going on, we're going to see this pullback. And then in addition to the fast fashion and the school clothes, also electronics, because the connectivity, of the inventory of the supply chain.
Yeah. I'm going to get to that in 1 second. But let me ask, because you're saying basically we have until June, that the supply is there as of now. Does that apply to the car industry? Because we reported people are rushing out to buy cars or renew leases or whatever they need to do.
Yeah, it really depends on the item. I mean, when it comes to the autos, Alex, it's those tariffs that have already been slapped. And so people are trying to get in there, right? Let's get that car that's out in the lot now before another one has to come in that will be more expensive. So that's why you're seeing that rush for the bigger ticket items.
Okay, so it's about the bottom dollar there. So we learned yesterday that China exempted some U.S.-made microchips from tariffs. Does this indicate that China is backing down on some level?
I really don't think so, Alex. I mean, it shows that there's a willingness, right, of the cooperation. But as we have seen with the prior trade war that's still in existence, there is so much rhetoric. And because of this conflicting comments between Trump and the Chinese officials about if a deal is happening, we're going to just continue to be in this like push and pause, if you will, of do we make more things? Do we hold off? What do we do? So I'm kind of hesitant to see that this is like a victory, if anything, for Trump.
Well, walk us through what is happening at our West Coast ports. I mean, how much of a drop in shipments from Asia are they experiencing?
We are seeing a massive, massive drop, Alex.
Wow.
You are looking at a 44% decrease in vessels year over year coming in. And what's really key here, Alex, are the people that move the containers. You need people to move trade. If you have 40% less containers coming in, that is going to impact the people that are the truckers, the railroad.
The Port of Los Angeles is the busiest in the Western Hemisphere, but now it's preparing for a dramatic slowdown, according to Executive Director Gene Soroka.
What do you anticipate happening over the next couple of weeks?
In 2 weeks' time, Carter, we'll see a drop on our import side of the business by about a third. And it could be as much as 40% the week to follow. Most American importers are saying that they're stopping shipments out of China because they simply weren't going to pay 2.5 times the cost of the goods.
With a 145% tariff, a container of Chinese goods worth $100,000 will now cost importers an extra $145,000.
With information coming out of Washington seemingly by the hour, it's tough to get a line of sight on what's next. Inventory on hand right now in the United States will last for about 6 to 8 weeks. After that, shelves will be bare. We won't be able to buy as much online.
All of these games come from China.
At the Game Chest, owner Mariam Ahamami has been stockpiling toys and games that arrived before the tariffs.
So I'm buying what I think I'll sell between now and September.
You sound like a hoarder.
I feel like a hoarder. If you've seen my stores, you would see the hoarding in the back rooms.
80% of her merchandise comes from China, and board games are her biggest sellers.
Seems like you should be able to make a board game in the U.S.
It's true. It does look easy, but it's filled with lots and lots of different parts and pieces. And there's just not enough manufacturing here to be able to do that successfully.
At this point, even if the tariffs are reduced significantly,
It'll still take about 10 days to 2 weeks to get these ships back in line over in China. Then it's a 2-week trip here to LA. So we're starting to cut it pretty close with respect to inventory in the U.S.
So we might see some empty shelves even if the tariffs are brought down in the next couple of weeks.
We're running out of time on that. And if we have fewer items to select from, that's going to put a pinch on the American buyer.